Alright kids, that is the it's the raw IPA from one and only just Secaur. It's Kvike, the Horndal yeast, and tonight's Tuesday night, so tomorrow is Homebrew Wednesday. So you guys aren't gonna watch me pour shit beer tonight. You're gonna watch me drink good beer tonight. So yeah. First of all, I'm gonna pause this, turn this around, and show you guys something real quick. It's nothing. That is a 5,000 milliliter flask, and there's a story, and I'll tell it. So anyway, let me pause this. All right, I'm back. So let's talk about the beer first. So this has some stone fruit. It's not as pungent as mine. I don't get the like the really intense fruit from this one as I do mine. But I don't know exactly how many hops he's got. It's, you know, with the late additions. It's all late additions with this raw IPA. But I don't know what his dry hops are. They're a boatload. But 6%. Smells good. It smells like yeah, just like almost like a peach salad, almost kind of sweet peach nectarine. There's definitely some malt still there. He only brings this up to about 200 degrees and he kills the heat. As soon as he starts seeing just a little bit of boiling, he kills everything. So it cools it down and does a huge whirlpool, and he might do some in flame. I'm not exactly 100% sure how he does it, but he just basically heats it until it just starts to boil, and he kills everything. But yeah, there's a big maltiness, kind of like crackery to it, with fruit in the background. So we'll give it a try. Yeah, it's got like almost like a grape kind of musk to it. But yeah, it's not real bitter. It's got a really nice mouthfeel to it. It shouldn't be bitter since everything's late addition. Excuse me. But there's enough bitterness from what's there to really make you. Yeah, this really is a good drinker. This is a drinker. Mouth feels nice. It's kind of medium, maybe on the light side of medium, but it's really good. Yeah, I could drink 16 or 20 of these. It's definitely a good one to sit around and drink or two. Alright, so talking Kvike. So I had, when I kegged my Kvike IPA a couple weeks ago, I made an attempt to wash the yeast. So I washed it, and there's so many there's 3 ounces of dry hops in it. So pain in the ass to wash. So what I did, the final time I washed it, I let everything settle out. Then I've got a stainless steel turkey baster. So what I did, I took the turkey baster and I dipped it in there and just sucked out just all the white yeast that I could see on top, and tried to leave all the green stuff down at the bottom, because the green stuff is obviously still the hop debris that's still in there. So there was, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon or whatever, and so I pitched that into a 2-liter starter, and let that go for 3 days. Well, about a day and a half, there was a krausen. So it's spinning about a day and a half. There's a krausen on it, and if not quite a day and a half, but anyway, not a big deal. Go ahead and let it spin 3 or 4 days. I didn't cold crash it because it's in a 3,000 milliliter flask, and I can't get it in my refrigerator. So I just let it sit at ambient. Everything drops out, and when I did, I made another 2-liter starter, and I decanted everything that I could, mixed up the slurry, and dumped it into that. And this is Kvike, so I did have it probably just below 100 degrees. I didn't take it out with temperature, I just by feel of the hand. And it was within 2 hours. It was still spinning, right? It's spinning in that same maelstrom that I showed you guys earlier. It's spinning, and it's just blown out like crazy. Not like a volcano, but it's just steadily pushed the styrofoam stoppers out. It pushed everything out. So I grabbed that 5,000 milliliter flask. I get it sanitized, transfer everything to the 5,000 milliliter flask, and it wasn't within a couple hours that damn thing was blown out. So it only did it for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or whatever. It blew out, then everything sunk back in as it spun. So there's a 2-liter starter and a 5,000 milliliter, which is a 5-liter flask, and it still blew out. So when you guys are growing your Voss, your Kvike, your Hothead, all that stuff, just I warned you that stuff will effing go. So right now I've got it spinning up just some cleaner in there, because it had a hell of a krausen ring in there, and I don't want to scrub it, so I'm being lazy and letting the table do it. But anyway, so that's that. I've got it in a sanitized ball jar, 16 ounce, so I've got about 8 ounces of yeast. There's some trum in there, whatever, but it's a shit ton of usable yeast in there, so I've got that now. And that's spinning away. And what I just did a few minutes ago, I just kegged my IPL. So this is the dregs out of the bottom of the IPL. Right as I filled the keg, I went ahead and I pulled my tube out, and just whatever I got. So there's a ton of hops in there, but this is the IPL. It's got a similar smell to the IPA. Definitely hops, but it seems like there's more malt to it. But then again, it's warm. It's, well, 48 degrees. Now it's probably within the 50s, whatever it says it's warmed up, but I cold crashed at 48. It's been cold crashing since Saturday, so it was running clear. So this smells good. It smells really good. So anyway, I'll give you a little bit of taste. Definitely fruity. Not, well, there's a lot of yeast in there in suspension, so kind of hold off judgment, but there's definitely there's a taste to it. Now, it's very similar to the IPA, the Kvike IPA. Someone will say that's because of the hops, because there's just a shit ton of hops in suspension. So this got down to about 10-14, which is what I figured. So yeah, that's good. And I think this beer, I think it's going to be really good. I like it. So I think I got some video, I got some screenshots, some pictures of the mess that the Kvike growing did for me. So pretty nice stuff. So let's talk about the barley wine. I think last week I talked about the gravity, and let's see, I checked it at one point, it was 1050. Checked it again, it was 1028. So it had really started going again. As I gradually warmed everything up to the 70, so I could get the diacetyl rest for this bad guy. So then I left that for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, 5 days or so. So then I checked gravity again, I think Friday afternoon or Thursday, and it was down to 1022. So, I mean, this is right up there on the cusp of a 14% beer, depending on how you want to figure out final gravity. If you got a brewer's friend, there's 2 different methods of final gravity. In the advanced method, which takes into account larger beers, this is a 13 point, I don't know, some odd percent beer, so it's a big beer. And barley wine, I mean, not this beer, this is about 7%, just a tad under 7%. But yeah, big one, and it's still a little hot. You would think a beer that started out 1.12 that dropped down to 10.22 would be a little dry, but it's not all that dry. I'm gonna keg that. Not today. I'll keg that probably tomorrow, or Friday, Thursday, maybe even Friday. I don't know, but anyway. So anyway, we'll talk about this beer. So I had sent Josh a beer mail last week or 2 weeks ago. He was one of the guys that I was waiting on to get some of these beers bottled so I could send out after the holidays, all that stuff. So anyway, he sends me a beer mail, and I didn't even look at my front porch, and he texted me the day after. Did you happen to look on your front porch for a box? And yeah, my wife was home, and boom, there it is. So anyway, I've got a ton of beers from him. I've already drank most of the commercial beers, which are pretty good. So I'm gonna get through these. I got some beer mails I need to send out. So anyway, yeah, and I think that's really about all I got. Just rambling on. I need to clean it for fermenter. And yeah, one thing, I don't know if you guys remember, I put the quick disconnect air post on the end of my blow off, and what I did, I just disconnected the be right back. So this is what I had for my blow off. Excuse me. So anyway, when it was time to cold crash, whoop, take that off, and I'm done with it. It's airtight. Cold crash it. No suck back. No potential suck back. Vacuum's not going to be so great that it's going to hurt the fermenter. So I did that. Yeah, and I started to run off into my keg, so I flipped up the retaining clasp on the fermenter, and I tried to break that seal, and no bueno there. So I ended up taking the triclover off and breaking the seal. So everything's airtight, so that worked great. One thing I'm going to do, and I've got everything I need to do it. Let's see, I probably don't have what I need here, but I've got the little bottle filler. It's got the air on it, and click all this stuff, and you connect it so you can like force carb, like a 2-liter bottle or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, it's got a little hose barb on the end of it, so I'm going to take and connect that to my fermenter at some point. So then I can take this QD here, connect that to, and put a beer side on this side, which is not going to use this line. We'll put a beer side on the other side, so then I can hook the CO2 up to the post, run from my spigot on my fermenter into my keg, and have basically a low oxygen transfer, which I was going to try to do with this beer, but I didn't want to cobble something together tonight. So anyway, that's a future project. So anyway, that's it, guys. I think one thing I'm going to do, all 3 of these kegs that I've got sitting in here now that I'm currently drinking on are pretty close to being empty. So what I'm gonna need to do, I'm gonna have to brew again. Probably I'll brew another beer or 2. So we'll get that done. I think I'm gonna do a black IPA with the Kvike yeast, and it'll be basically the same grist as I've been using for this IPL and the other IPA. I'll just add so half a pound of midnight wheat. Try to do the same hop schedule. Come here, pizza face. Look at your face. Look how dirty your face is. Look at all that. Look at all that. Look at all that. All right, you. What are you doing? You gonna say hi? Say, sup? Sup, homies? Ow! I'll bite your face off. All right. What?
Guess what?
What?
Wait.
What?
I got out of the first page. I'm knocking.
Oh, awesome. Good job, buddy. You need to go wash your face. You need to clean the pizza off your face. Get out of here. So, that's what I'm gonna do. What? Get out of here. So that, I'm thinking about just brewing the Pilsner that I made earlier. I made that this summer, which was hopped with experimental grapefruit and laurel, which I really enjoyed that beer. I may make that again. I don't know. But anyway, I've got 3 kegs that probably only have maybe 5-6 pints in them each, so they're getting pretty low, and I need to save some of that for some beers that I want to bottle. The barley wine, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I may drink a little bit of it. I'm going to bottle some 22-ounce bottles for some guys at work. There's only 3 gallons of it, so I may drink a little bit of it now. I may squirrel away a couple bombers full and just drink all the rest of it. I don't know. But anyway, I need to get it force carved. Then I can make that decision. But anyway, I'm gonna shut the F up. And anyway, guys, that's it. Peace. Peace. Cheers.